drug addiction in the United States is under control.
Throughout human history, there have been many examples of people having their weaknesses exploited so that other people could gain from it. Those doing the exploiting often sought to gain wealth and power. They used any method necessary to take advantage of vulnerable populations with no regard for their fate. There have been many different methods of human exploitation. One of the deadliest and most efficient is to get large numbers of people addicted to narcotics. Narcotics are a class of medicinal drug that have mind-altering and often sleep-inducing effects and are most commonly illegal. They include methamphetamines, cocaine, marijuana, heroin, opium, LSD, and many more. Since the dawn of man, people have been using various plants and natural substances for a variety of uses, whether it be religious, recreational, or to harm others. For example, one drug now known as devil's breath is grown in South America and can be deadly if it enters the body, and was used by many as a weapon. Later on, as civilizations grew, people used drugs for a variety of reasons. They were used for practical reasons like to alleviate pain or treat illness, but they were also often used for less noble purposes. People's insatiable desire to use these substances sparked a brand new worldwide market. At first, this worldwide and very profitable drug trade was completely unregulated and was allowed to flourish without any laws restricting it. While the drug trade made rich men out of those in the business of selling drugs, the fate of those who bought and used drugs was far more grim. In fact, drug use and the drug trade had such a negative impact on society, it led to an actual war between two countries. Early in the Victorian era, the drug trade was the cause of hostilities breaking out between China and England. England became indebted to China, and China sold many goods to England that they desired, like tea. England did not produce any legal goods China desired. However, India, which was a British colony, had the ability to grow opium. This was an illegal product that Chinese people desperately desired, so England began illegally selling opium to China. England's desperate need for money to buy goods from China led them to basically being drug dealers. As a result of the widespread availability of opium imported from England into China, the country started to become filled with opium addicts. This had a devastating effect on Chinese society, and this led to the First Opium War. China made opium illegal and demanded England not sell it to Chinese citizens. England wanted China to legalize, regulate, and tax opium rather than making it illegal. China refused to budge. This resulted in war. England devastated China in the First Opium War. The end result was the Treaty of Nanking between China and England. This treaty's purpose was to change the established method of foreign trade between the two countries. Later, hostilities started to brew when China was not complying with the terms of the treaty. Britain then demanded that the treaty be renegotiated. This resulted in many conflicts and international incidents occurring between not only Britain and China, but with other European countries like France. This led to the Second Opium War, and France was Britain's ally in this conflict. Once again, the Europeans defeated the Chinese. The Chinese were forced to comply with many European demands in the treaty that resulted from the Second Opium War. First, freedom of religion was established in China. Secondly, British ships were allowed to carry endangered Chinese to the Americas. And most importantly to Britain, it made the opium trade in China legal. It is also said that the treaty was the beginning of the modernization of China. At the start of the 20th century, the world was plagued with many different types of drugs. Mind-altering and highly addictive substances like cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamines burst onto the drug scene, devastating lives of the users and entire communities. In the 1960s, psychedelic drugs like LSD became popular, and many young people destroyed their lives and their minds experimenting with them. In the 1980s, the plague of crack cocaine laid waste to a generation of users, destroying not only the abusers, but their families as well. South American countries like Colombia became the leading source of the cocaine that supplied the cocaine crack epidemic.
Today, there's a new epidemic, smokable cocaine, otherwise known as crack. It is an explosively destructive and often lethal substance which is crushing its users. It is an uncontrolled fire.
Drug lords like Colombia's Pablo Escobar, arguably the most successful drug distributor who ever lived, made billions of dollars off the backs of addicted American citizens. This caused the United States to declare a war on drugs that rages to this day.
But we know we must do more because the drug cartels will do more. After all, there's a lot of money in this.
Even though society is dedicated to fighting drugs, this is a battle that will most likely last forever because of the human drive to consume mind-altering substances seems, sadly, to be a part of our nature. The reality is that no matter how much we as a society fight it, the scourge of drugs will continue to destroy families and take lives.
There is evidence that shows that medicated assisted treatment, if done properly in combination with behavioral therapy and other support and counseling and 12-step programs and things like that, can work. It can be an effective strategy to support recovery. But it can't just be replacing one drug with another. It's got to be part of a package. So we're going to identify any barriers to that still exist that are keeping us from creating more of these treatment facilities and incorporating them into our federal programs. We're taking this seriously, and the goal today is to shine a spotlight on this and then make sure that we walk away out of here, all of us committed to doing something about it